It's Karma Chameleon.
Karma Chameleon, you come and go.
Brilliant stuff.
I'm gonna go. Greg, good morning to you.
Good morning, Lee.
There's a right buzz in that reception in there.
A buzz?
There's a buzz in there.
What's happening?
There's peeps in there. There's people.
Is it really already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
You're
debates
busy.
don't start again until 10.
Oh, do they not?
No.
There's a few out there.
Okay.
I just
Maybe
sneaked into
we
the
got
kitchen.
time wrong. Hey, come here. Last night,
Tell us the crack. Sure, you're out after your busy day in the
after
programme.
the
and
busy
all
day,
that.
drove down to Donegal Town to
What
the
was the
Abbey
crack?
Hotel.
What was
It
happening?
was the Garda Youth Awards.
Ooh,
Okay. So recognising 15 fantastic young children and young people in groups.
great.
And then there was overall individual awards. Conor Callaghan from Deal College, Raffo, he got the Special Recognition Award. Fantastic young lad, doing amazing things, raising charity.
Brilliant.
The Class 3B at Skilmore, Buncrana won the group award. They were fantastic as well.
Well done to them.
Community Safety, a brilliant initiative from a group of students from St. Columba's College. They were brilliant. The individual award went to a Carmen Hernandez down in Donegal Town. And
Tell me.
Special Achievement Award went to a young man from Ironmore Island.
Ah,
Right.
great.
Sean Boyle.
And I bet you there was a great post down there. There's more.
No, there is more to Mr. Boyle, young Mr. Boyle.
Oh, Sean Boyle, is it?
Yes.
I know Sean.
Right. So he's
Yes.
been on RTE.
Nationwide,
He's
wasn't
been on Nation. He's been on Arna G and everything.
Yeah.
So I had a wee chat with him afterwards, right?
Right.
And I says, I didn't hear Highland Radio mentioned there, Sean. Are you going to come on and speak to me?
Yeah.
No, Lee Gooch.
Are you serious?
Yep. He
Well,
wasn't
sure,
inter-
good. Let's make it happen.
He wasn't interested in speaking to me. Sean Boyle blanked me in front of a group of probably 120
This
people.
when you were talking to him live?
Yes,
Oh
and he
my God,
says-
how embarrassing
so,
for you. I do apologise.
So we have to get Sean on Highland.
Yeah.
And apparently I'm not good enough. The 9 till noon show doesn't cut it. It has to be the
No,
naughty
well,
line,
sure, he's
probably.
got great taste, Sean. I know Sean. I actually met Sean in recent days on Friday night at Freuge. They had a wee thing in
Right,
the
well,
Clanry.
anyway,
and
so that's
Mum
it.
as well, met the Mum as well. Lovely.
They
I'm
were all
alright.
fantastic, but
Yeah.
Sean and young Connor as well. He crafts and stuff and raises money
Brilliant.
for charity. Amazing young people.
And did it run on late last night, or what was the
No,
story?
I kept it tight, Gooch.
Oh, you did?
Yep, got them all wrapped up just after 10 because Sean had to go back to
I'm all right.
Ironmore. The rest of them, Buncrana, Refo, all over the place. So
yeah.
we tried to get it all
Aye.
wrapped up. Anyway, listen, I
Come
just
here.
wanted
Well,
to
should-
say.
So how I
again-
need to get Sean on then?
Yeah, well,
We'll get him on.
If he'll
We'll
come
make
on,
it-
he's a star now. So
He
I
is
don't
a
know.
star,
Maybe
he's-
you'll not squeeze us in. Anyway, you won't come on my show.
Oh, it's all right. You have loads happening on your show
After the
today.
show, we've
What's
got
the crack today,
next
then?
set of debates coming up after 10. It's Buncrana, and then on an online exclusive, it is then another 5 or 6 candidates for the Midlands Northwest European election. So we're on day 2,
How do you sleep at
Bish
night?
bash.
No bother.
vertically or horizontally, actually.
Oh, your brain
Tell
will be
you one thing,
fried.
I was tired when I got into
I
bed
would
last
say that.
night.
See,
Drove
you have to be-
Downings from Donegal Town.
I see. People don't realise, but you see, like it's a mental. You're thinking all the time. It's like a hard day's work is a hard day's work, and it's tough digging the
Thanks,
shovel and stuff.
Lee.
But when you're mentally,
Sorry, can I ring Ashleen here and just open the call
No, that's
whilst you
okay.
talk about
Like,
this?
I'm
because
just-
I think
you
she
can pay
thinks
me
I,
a- buy
I
me
think
a
she thinks
coffee.
I work 3 hours a day. So go
no,
ahead.
no, but
about
mentally, like
yeah.
you have to be so like on the
So
ball.
it's draining. It's like real work, isn't it?
It is.
Okay.
In all fairness.
You hear that?
Yeah, it's not working. It's not happening. Right, good luck.
All right, then. Come here. Listen, take care, Lee. Looking forward to chatting to you again tomorrow morning, of course. It is 9 o'clock, just a minute past 9. Let's get a news update. It's over to Michaela Clark.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. The majority of complaints to the Ombudsman for Children were around education. There were almost 1,800 complaints about public services for children last year. 40% related to education, while almost a quarter were about health services. Another quarter were about the Child and Family Agency TUSLA. Ombudsman for Children, Dr. Niall Muldoon, says children's services are battling for attention.
Government are looking and fighting about housing crisis and homelessness. They're looking at the cost of living crisis. They're looking at international protection crisis. And they're ignoring the fact that every one of those are negatively impacting very many thousands of children. For example, there's children living across the country in insecure and transitory accommodation. There's almost 30,000 children between homelessness, direct provision in Ukraine are uncertain about where they're living and how they're going to secure the future.
The Health Minister will update Government today on plans to digitalise and share medical health records. The aim is to have joined-up access to medical records across the health service. It would allow doctors and nurses to quickly view things like recent blood work or any active treatment plans. Stephen Donnelly has previously described Ireland as a laggard in Europe when it comes to electronic health records. The Green Party has confirmed it is fielding 3 candidates in Donegal to contest next month's local election. The party's chair in Donegal, Michael White, will run in the Carndonagh local electoral area, while Jason Leigh-Masseur will seek nomination in the Buncrana local electoral area. Elsewhere in the Letterkenny area, PhD researcher Nuala Carr has put her name forward for the upcoming election. Meanwhile, local election debates are continuing here on Highland Radio this morning. The focus today from 10:15 on the 9 till noon show will be on the Buncrana local electoral area. Agreement may be close on relocating the Bring Banks in Glendace. Answering questions from Councillor Brian Carr, officials said they are looking at a number of options, with Councillor Carr pointing out there is a suitable location at the council's own yard. He says the current site is on private property and that needs to be resolved.
There's no camera, it's not lit, and people are just going and dropping every bit of rubbish that they want and leaving it there, and it ends up that the council has to come along and try and clean it up. We've had discussions with the council trying to look at alternative locations down through the years. Hasn't been successful, but there is one location now that we have identified is outside the council yard itself.
And roadworks at Windy Hall Road in Letterkenny are resulting in major tailbacks in the town this morning. Traffic is backed up from Long Lane adjacent to Letterkenny University Hospital to Glencar. Motorists are advised to expect delays. Finally, for weather, mainly cloudy, misty and dry this morning with occasional bright spells. Showers will develop by afternoon, turning heavy in places with thunderstorms and hail possible. Highest temperatures of 15 or 16 degrees. That's all from Highland Radio News for now. We'll be back with news again at 10 o'clock. Until then, good morning.
Instagram has family tools that help your family have a safer, healthier experience on the app. When teenagers set up their Instagram profile, default private accounts ensure that what they post stays private to them and their followers. Selecting a daily time limit helps your teenager keep healthy habits on the app. And by setting up supervision together, you gain more insight into who they're following. Learn more about these and other family tools at instagram.com/family tools.
And now it's time for the talk of the Northwest, the 9 to noon show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello, a very good morning to you. It's just 4 minutes past 9 on this Tuesday. It's the 21st of May. How are you all keeping out there across the Northwest and wherever you're listening to us here on your number one local radio station? It is indeed Highland Radio. And not wishing to labour the point, but we are in the election cycle, and the programmes are a little bit different for the next 10 days, 9 days now. Because, as you heard Lee mention, and as you heard Michaela mention, and I'm going to do it now for those just tuning on, we continue our debates today. Coming up after 10 o'clock, we are going to Buncrana, or indeed the candidates are coming to us. Buncrana is a 5-seat local electoral area. There are 12 candidates contesting, and we have a number of them in today. On our panel, Fionan Bradley, Jack Murray, Liam Mulligan, Kim McMenamin, Eamonn McGee, Peter McLaughlin. It should be an interesting, robust debate. Good reaction to yesterday's local election debate, in fact, so that's cool. And you'll never miss it, by the way, even if you don't get to hear or watch it live. You can go onto our website right now and you'll be able to watch that back or listen to that back. It's up to you. Also coming up after 12, and it's online on our YouTube and Facebook and X channels. It's our second Midlands. I still in my head want to say Connacht Ulster. Midlands Northwest EU election constituency. Lisa Chambers of Fianna Fáil, Dr. Brian O'Boyle, People Before Profit. Peadar Tobin of Aontu's with us. Kieran Mullooly is an independent. You might have seen Kieran quite upset he wasn't invited to the European debates in RTE, but we are fully inclusive here on the 9 till noon show. Justin Barrett, one of the leaders, acclaimed leaders of the National Party, will be joining us too. So, as I say, that's John Breslin's show goes out on air as normal, but you can tune into that as a sort of an online exclusive feature for you. Right, lots to come up in the first hour as well, by the way, including Community Garda information, where you hear the latest appeals and information from An Garda Síochána first here every Tuesday on the 9 till noon show. So I think it's Garda Grania joining us for that. So stay tuned for that as well. That's been brought forward so you don't miss that out. Right, newspapers went through them this morning, and a bit of a struggle really to pick out stuff that I thought you might be interested in. But I tried. It's the Irish Times we'll start with. It's their front page. What do you think of this idea? An undercover heavy goods vehicle cab operated by roads policing Gardaí, is to be deployed on Irish roads in the coming weeks to catch distracted drivers. The deployment of the vehicle known as Supercab is one of several initiatives being rolled out by An Garda Síochána in an attempt to lower the rate of road fatalities, which are at their highest in a decade. More than 60 people have died on Irish roads so far this year. Under the initiative, Gardaí from the Roads Policing Unit will operate an unmarked truck cab of the type used to pull heavy goods vehicles. From their higher vantage point, Gardaí will be able to see into cars to check for mobile phone use, a lack of seatbelt wearing, or other signs of distracted driving. They'll also be able to see into the cabs of other trucks, something Gardaí and patrol cars are unable to do. Any suspected offences will be filmed by the Garda operators, sources say. So they'll literally be able to, they'll be filming down to you in your car cab. The new tactic is being introduced as Gardaí believe many people are using their mobiles or other electronic devices while holding them in their lap so as to avoid being spotted. What do you think of that initiative? The Irish Independent this morning. An arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court, that's the ICC, in The Hague is the thing the Israel Prime Minister feared most. Ever since rumours reached Jerusalem in mid-April that the court was building a war case against Benjamin Netanyahu, he's said to have become unnaturally afraid and worried, allowing the matter to dominate his almost every thought. The issue was an overriding concern for Netanyahu and more urgent than anything else, said his biographer. Now, it hasn't been issued yet. It's being sought. But the US President Joe Biden has called the decision for the International Criminal Court to seek an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as outrageous. The chief prosecutor of the ICC is seeking warrants for Mr. Netanyahu and Hamas leader in Gaza for war crimes, 3 of them in fact. Karim Khan said yesterday that he believes Mr. Netanyahu, his defense minister, and 3 Hamas leaders are responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity. Now, the idea being is the fact that they were all being sought at the same time. It's bad enough that they believe, Israel believes, it's bad enough their leader is being potentially an arrest warrant out on him. But the Americans seem particularly upset that it's being put on a level with arrest warrants being seen for Hamas. It sends out the wrong message or something along those lines. The Irish Daily Mail tells us that a record number of immigrants are running for election, nearly double the number on the ballot in 2019. The Immigrant Council of Ireland has identified more than 100 candidates of migrant backgrounds running in the upcoming local elections on June 7th. In the 2019 local elections, there were just 56 migrant candidates, according to the body. I don't know, how do they judge this? Is it based on name and skin colour? Because I don't think that really necessarily tells the full story. But anyway, someone could be second, third generation migrant living in this country, but no longer a migrant, obviously. You get where I'm coming from, do you? This significant increase in the number of diverse candidates seeking election comes as public sentiment towards migration has changed, with an unprecedented rise in the number of asylum seekers and refugees from Ukraine coming to Ireland in the past 2 years. Now, the overwhelming majority of correspondence we are receiving in relation to our debates, and indeed some of the priorities set out by the candidates, which we do ask them in advance, are housing, are migration, and obviously other things as well, but they are coming out on top, it would seem. The Irish Daily Star, former cigarette smokers who vape are more likely to get lung cancer, warns new research. People who have stubbed out the habit but who use e-cigarettes or vaping devices are more likely to develop the deadly disease than those who don't vape, according to the findings of a Korean study. Corresponding author Dr. Yun Wook Kim said, "This is the first large population-based study to demonstrate the increased risk of lung cancer in e-cigarette users after smoking cessation." Now, of course, some people are still perhaps leaning on the Royal College of Surgeons conclusion that vaping is 95% less damaging than smoking. I don't want to piddle on anyone's parade, but there is increasing research coming out showing that replacing cigarettes with vaping does not mean that you aren't likely to get, does not mean that you are not likely to get lung cancer. It's quite interesting because there's far less people smoking and the rate of lung cancer actually is level or up You would imagine, wouldn't you, with the moving away from smoking, that that would automatically lead to a fall in those very sadly getting lung cancer. But it's not the case. There's no correlation there, according to recent figures we covered here on this programme. The Irish Sun this morning, up to 1 in 3 jobs in Ireland could be at risk due to artificial intelligence, a minister has warned. A new report concludes there are positives to be had from the advances of Terminator-style tech. It's nothing like Terminator-style tech, by the way, but listen, the paper doesn't refuse ink. Terminator-style tech. But the study says workforce upheaval is on the way as AI takes over our lives. Finance Minister Michael McGrath, who commissioned the probe, delivered the news yesterday. He said up to 1/3 of employment could be at risk from the deployment of AI, but it doesn't mean that those jobs will be lost. Now, there's other studies out showing that people's productivity has increased dramatically in companies that have employed AI. But we use it all the time, and it's being used all the time. Like, I had to make contact with Amazon yesterday, and your first contact is with an AI algorithm, or whatever you might describe it. It goes through whatever it might be, and then it sends your message on to the seller. So already it's part of our lives. And also what's part of our lives, unfortunately, are scams. And just a reminder for you, we like to cover it on this show to try and avoid one person, hopefully more, getting caught out. This is the Mirror. A new type of sophisticated scam has emerged to target bank customers, with one well-known bank warning of a 32% surge in cons. Fraudsters are swindling savers out of thousands of euro as a result of a torrent of so-called purchase scams. These lure people to make payments for goods and services through a fake advertisement that appears online. There's been a 32% increase in purchase scams reported to it in the last year, according to Bank of Ireland. It issued a warning and told customers to be careful when shopping online. A bank spokesperson said fraudsters are capitalising on the rise in online shopping and lack of industry action. Now, I'm halfway through the article, and this is something maybe newspapers need to wake up to. I'm halfway through the article, and I actually don't really even know yet what the scam is. And in fact, I'm scanning down the rest of it, and it really is not clear. So really, that's just a page of waffle. Really important information, but not very well articulated in 2024. Because, as I say, I've read that, and I'm not really even sure what the scam is. I'm sure we'll cover it in a different form down the line. All right, it is the 9 till noon show here on Highland Radio. Stay with us. Our first guests coming up very shortly.
Daily newspapers are courtesy of Kelly Centra and Diner, Mountaintop Letterkenny, winner of Best Family Dining at the Highland Radio Hospitality Awards. The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Letterkenny Medics is Ireland's first multi-purpose private medical urgent care and aesthetics centre. Dr. Mohammed El Preya and Dr. Ripu Singh are offering daily appointments from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days per week. Our walk-in clinics offer cardiac screening, weight management, male and female health screening, minor injury, minor surgery, aesthetics and travel vaccinations. To book your appointment, go to letterkennymedics.ie or call 07492 02955. Letterkenny Medics. We listen if you want to talk.
Vibrant Glasgow awaits. Fly easily from Donegal Airport with Loganair. Book your tickets now at loganair.co.uk and explore all that Glasgow has to offer. Enjoy convenient travel from Donegal to Glasgow with Loganair.
It's the Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring 70% off sale. Get up to 70% off on all your purchases. Up to 70% off all tiles, all wood flooring, all bathware. Everything's reduced in-store. The 70% off sale at Right Price Tiles and Wood Flooring. Stores nationwide. Sale now on.
Uno, dos, tres. A hain, a do, a tree. 1, 2, 3. The Arona, the Ateca and the Tarraco. 3 great SUVs from Seat. And when you order now, you can enjoy 3 years free tyre insurance and 3 years roadside assistance, plus 3 flexible payment options to purchase your new Seat. Visit seat.ie to discover even more of our fantastic offers. Great things come in threes at DMG Motors Donegal Town. And while I have 3 seconds, allow me to say that yes, terms and conditions apply.
Are you tired of waiting for treatment or surgery? Did you know you can receive immediate treatment across the border under the new NI planned healthcare scheme at potentially no cost? Donegal patients are still being treated with us at Kingsbridge Private Hospital Northwest post-Brexit. The process is easy and our dedicated team will help guide you through it. So why wait? Contact us today to find out how you can skip the waiting lists and receive treatment in Northern Ireland. Visit kingsbridgeprivatehospital.com, because life matters.
Welcome back. In this week's Your Voice, Your Community, brought to you by Commissioner Mann, we talked to members of the Indian community. And firstly, we have with us Bobby Rao. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Fred.
And also Ram Mohan. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for calling up.
Morning.
Okay, right. Now it is election time. Great time to be raising election issues, isn't it? Ram Mohan, tell us the call that you're making on those seeking the public's votes out there today.
Right, yeah. So the first thing is what I'm going to give. I'll give you a quick background, like, where we started, and then I can tell you, like,
Go ahead, whatever way you want to do it, Ram Mohan.
Petition, yeah. So we started cricket in 2019, the first team in Northwest League, and then since 2019 we have been playing in different leagues in Northwest Cricket Ireland affiliated. Bobby Rao helped us in securing a ground in Limavady. It's like 1 hour drive from Letterkenny. So we started playing since 2019.
So the home games are in Limavady effectively.
Yeah,
okay.
It's kind of, you're traveling almost one way, 1 hour. So we have been trying in Donegal County Council, with politicians, with Northwest and Cricket Ireland. So things kind of, they go one step forward, like getting a ground, but again, like, 2 steps backward. Like, so now we thought, like, this is the time where we have more number of people. Like, we started with 1 team, now we have 5 teams, including the youth team, under 11s team. And all the teams, they're traveling to Limavady and Strabane Academy. So then we thought, like, this is the time where we should have at least some basic facilities like nets or maybe a ground. And we're kind of, again, working with Donegal County Council. They have some potential places, and hopefully,
you want to see that progress.
Yeah, progress. But again, like, see, it's every time when we... I think, we had the same challenge like before last elections as well. Like,
Yeah, so 4 years on, 5 years on.
5 years on.
By Rao, your background is, as well as being involved heavily here, you're a former professional cricket player.
Yeah.
So where did you play previously?
I played for India, and I played for Ireland, and I coached Ireland as well. So I was instrumental along with Mike Hendrick, to get Irish cricket to the test level, because we put the structure from the grassroots levels. So it was a long drive of 20 odd years, but we achieved our dream. Like, Ireland was given test status. So the first test match they played in Dublin, there were 9 players who I coached from the age of 10, 12. It was a proud thing. Coming down to Letterkenny, the Indian community has grown here. There's a lot of Asian population here, like of India, Pakistanis, and Africans. Cricket is our religion back home. So the second and third generations, which will be wanting to progress forward, develop, unless you have a ground, traveling 40 odd miles and coming, especially in summertime, like the school holidays and all, parents are working, kids, it's very difficult for them.
But of course, Bobby Rao, you have to sort of make the argument too that there is demand. So with all the challenges that are there already, including the travel distance, which would put a lot of people off, the participation is growing, and it's grown from a single team into 5 squads. Young men and women involved as well, over 100 individuals, very passionate and keen, and they're involved in this even with the travel and the lack of facilities we're talking of. So who is to say how big it could get with the proper facilities locally?
That's what, as long as you have a proper ground, and when you see for the future as well, you can develop into international standard and bring international cricket to Letterkenny, which will be a big dream. And then again, young Asians and the younger generation can aspire to play for Ireland, which is aspire in the top level.
Like, you're in no doubt, given your background, Bobby Rao, in terms of your professional background and your coaching and the achievements that you have in bringing forward cricket into this country, you've no doubt that if the facilities were here locally, this would feed into international Irish cricketers into the future.
definitely, because that's my last dream. Because when I came to this country about 30 to 45 years back, that's they asked me to play for Ireland. I played, but then I put the seed of developing the youth and local players to play international cricket. So you have a lot of potential here. And I know it's a minority sport, but unless you have your own home ground, which you can develop, coach, and do whatever you can, it is the most important thing. Okay, we to get into the league, we had to have a ground. So somehow I know Drummond Cricket Club. I've been associated with them, so they kindly obliged us to play league cricket there. Now it's nearly 5 years, and the travel and the team. How the players have to travel so far. Now with the traffic and all the commitments,
it just becomes a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, doesn't it? Roman, in terms of the space that's required, it doesn't have to be in the heart of Letterkenny, I presume. It's in the surrounds, anywhere. I mean, Limavaddy's a tight run, okay? So even if it's like within 5 or 10 kilometres or whatever it might be. You talked about some land being earmarked.
Yeah, I think county council they're saying that they identified few potential places. I think they're going to let us know how it progresses. But again, until and unless we get a ground, we don't know. The same thing happened before as well, like 1 step forward and 2 steps backward.
Yeah. Okay,
so,
I get you.
Yeah, but again, going back to what Bobby mentioned, right? We have 2 individuals from Letterkenny. They represented under 13s Ireland Cubs. And now I can see 4 of them, they're representing regional squads, Northwest regional squads. So that's a big progress without having a ground. And imagine if there is a ground in Letterkenny, things would be entirely different.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to achieve that with what's there at the moment. And just, Ram, in relation to the participation, is it mostly members of the Asian community, or is it a mixture, or what? Is the current makeup?
Yeah, I think majority of them, they are Asian mix, but again, we do have South Africans, we do have New Zealanders who are kind of taking part. So it's kind of, the only thing is, the more you involve in schools, the more kids they're going to participate.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, the biggest challenge is, we got like 5 or 6 or maybe close to 10 kids from Elstrin, and then we got them trained. But again, without having facilities, the parents are kind of, we have to travel 20 miles now, I think.
Listen, it's tough enough to do football runs just a little bit up the road without Limavady. And Bobby, in relation to the participation, obviously that would grow if the facilities were more to hand. But it's good, isn't it? You describe cricket as a minority sport, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. The more options I think there are for young people, because sometimes if you're not into rugby, athletics, GEA or soccer, I know there's badminton and a few others, but there is certainly room, I think, for another sport in this county to really grow.
Yeah, we can, the grassroots levels, we have seen one school already. We're trying to do a joint project with one of the schools. Me and Ram went down there last week, met the principal. It was very encouraging. So we have to go down to different schools and sell the sport. So because I have that experience, I did that in Strabane, over 10 schools. I started cricket, so we can do that. So we want the local children to participate. So that's what, if you have a ground, you have a summer schemes, you can see them all coming down, and the local people, so cricket will take off. That is the main thing for us. So,
and Bobby, are you a traditionalist? Do you like these new forms of cricket's quicker format, shorter format?
I never played.
Why are you laughing? Ram, have I hit on something here?
I'm purist. Because I bought in the old system, but the 2 formats of 2020 and 50 over games are good sellers. And we need, traditionally Test cricket is the ultimate.
It's always going to be, yeah.
But with the modern times, you got to move on with the times. That's a 2020, like IPL has been amazing. And like Sunday in my home city, Hyderabad, the IPL Sunrisers played, and suddenly they showed I have a stand there, my stand, and suddenly saw someone hit a 6, and I got all this your screenshots from back home sent to me. You know,
what a lovely honor.
So that is some, and you never know. Like in years to come, if we have a ground and we develop, and someone from Letterkenny will playing IPL there, and
wouldn't it be amazing?
Yeah. So those are the
that
things.
would kind of almost finish the story, isn't it? If you sent someone back, you know, having achieved what you did there, come here, grew the sport. Anyway, I think it's a little bit like snooker in that, you know, with frequent tournaments, people's attention span is narrowing. And there's a space for them, but really it comes down to the long format World Championship, and that really that's the ultimate, and probably always will be, isn't it?
Yeah, but 2020 is exciting, and it's a family honor. You know, like you can start playing at 7 o'clock at night. They come back from work in a 3 hours game, and even here it's taking off, even Ireland. So that will be a bit of future to put something into the game financially. But ultimately, you'll have your Test cricket and 3-day games. You know.
And I think, Ram, really right why we're talking, just to reiterate it, and you've said it a couple of times to be very clear, is, you know, the conversation has been happening within the council. There has been commitments. We're looking at things. That was before the last election. Now we're coming into another election, and we're really effectively perhaps no further on. So you're saying, especially for those candidates seeking votes, and there's a lot of votes out there, isn't there, right? Now is the time to sort of move on something. This would be a real... I mean, this is what local elections are all about, isn't it? It's about delivering for the people, and they go, well, okay, you're worth my vote.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's all about, like, you know, using this opportunity, and at the same time, kind of now we are at a stage where we cannot grow any further without having the facilities.
Ram, how far up the ladder did you get? Obviously, we're here with a living legend here with Bobby Rao. Did you ever reach, what was your potential reached yet, or what was your peaking your career?
Oh, right. Actually, I'm passionate about cricket. At my college level, I played at university level, which is kind of zone level. And then
not much really, Bobby, is it?
Yeah, but compared to Bobby, it's kind of
passionate. As long as he's passionate, he wants to play at the age of.
Ram, you're all right.
And I played at championship level here, you know, the second level.
Excellent.
So then I think, you know, once I came out of it, then we saw big potential in Letterkenny. And
I think you're also invested in the next year. As much as you still enjoy playing, I think you're very much invested in. You see the future.
Yeah.
You just need the building blocks, don't you? I think that's it. And Bobby, you share that
Ram
too.
has done the hard work. But again, Fred, sport is a great vehicle to build relationship between countries,
of course,
and communities, races, religions. You know, which I experienced personally in Northern Ireland.
Well, listen, a lot of us became cricket fans all of a sudden when Ireland started doing well, getting on that bandwagon. I mean, it's amazing. Like, everybody on social media was talking about cricket.
Yeah, that's right.
How long ago was that now? Probably about 4 or 5 years when it really sort of
6 years.
Yeah, when it sort of really hit the headlines. You know,
right.
So it is a sport that will engage people if they're exposed to it.
And the most important thing is that. Ian Morgan, I involved with him when he was 13, 14. An Irishman had to go and win a World Cup for England.
I know what was going on there. Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's.
Listen, they've always been stealing our best players, haven't they? Right. Okay. Listen, anything that you want to say before we wrap up, because it's been lovely having you in.
Our main thing appeal to all the politicians and all the people to see what. They
get it over the line.
Yeah. If we can get a ground and so much we can put into the community, you know, and bring in a lot of economic development and other things. If you can bring international match.
And I think too, Bobby, you made a very good point. The best way that people integrate and get to know each other, one of the best ways is sport. Because very little like it, isn't it? Because especially team sports as well.
That's true.
It plays a really important role in that. So very much, I think, in the council's interest to be investing in this area. So it's been lovely having you, Bobby Rao. Thank you so very much. A cricketing legend off and on the pitch as well.
Thank you very much.
And also Ram Mohan, thank you so much for joining us. It's been lovely having you on. And that was Bobby Rao and Ram Mohan. And that was part of Your Voice, Your Community for this week. They are members of the Indian community and very much passionate about continuing to develop if you were to try and get someone with Bobby Rao's experience to come in, to try and build the sport here, you wouldn't really be able to do so, or you'd have to dig very, very deep. So I think we're blessed here to have someone of his stature behind such a campaign. All right, that's an election one. So if you want a few votes, get on it. All right, Bobby. All right, Ram, thank you both very much indeed.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com.
In 30 seconds, we want to let you know that the 242 Opel Open Road event is now on. We're going to use half of the time to suggest you explore Opel's extensive award-winning range. Half of the time to tell you you'll get 3 years free servicing. Then, we've nothing else to talk about. In fact, the percentage of our time we're going to talk about finance offers, that would be 0%. Find out more about our 242 offers at Heron Auto Opel. See heronopel.ie for details.
PDO thread lifts and skin boosters, which rejuvenate the skin by improving facial contours, lifting and tightening the jowls, neck, cheeks and eyebrows, are available at Genesis Aesthetics and Skincare Clinic, Gweedore. To choose the right aesthetic treatment for you, contact Mary Ferry, your aesthetic practitioner. Also offering fat dissolving treatments, dermal fillers and laser treatments for all skin conditions. Hair and makeup packages also available. Genesis Aesthetics and Skincare Clinic, Gweedore. 07495 325 75.
Charge into summer with TUI. Secure your holiday today with savings for families and adults flying from Dublin, Cork and Shannon. Holiday sorted. TUI. Live happy.
Northwest Forest Services, a professional tree surgery firm in Donegal, seeks experienced or keen to learn tree surgeons for permanent full-time positions. The role requires qualifications in tree care techniques with a focus on safety. Training will be provided as needed. Additional qualifications such as safe pass, first aid, manual handling and a clean driving licence are an advantage but not essential. Competitive salary offered based on experience. Apply by emailing your CV to info@nwfs.ie.
Never has the need for reliable, trustworthy journalism been greater. If you are a journalism or media student who is about to graduate and are looking to kickstart your career in news or sports, the Learning Waves Journalism Graduate Programme is for you. Learning Waves, along with Commission Oman and SkillNet Ireland, are offering 10 graduates the opportunity to work in one of Ireland's independent radio stations for a period of 5 months from September 2024. You will work alongside the news and sports editor in the station to learn real workplace skills and judgment and to get your voice heard. You will also undertake a tailored training program devised by Learning Waves. So if you want to progress your journalism career, apply online now at learningwaves.ie. Closing date May 24th.
All right, Grania on Facebook says, as a child we played cricket on Rasnala Beach. There was no club to show off your prowess. It's a great game. Well done for highlighting this. And also we have Kevin on WhatsApp. Let's see what Kevin has to say.
Back in the day in Letterkenny, there used to be a cricket meadow down past where Victor Fisher's old house used to be, where Victor was born, down by Hyundai and down along the river there.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much for that. A great way to share your views as well. I mean, that would have been a tough message to articulate in text. So it's great to get the voice message from Kevin. Don't forget, you can WhatsApp your voice messages to 086 60 25,000. Now, a caller says in 10 or 15 years, cricket will be the major sport, not GEA. Well, it's not always one or other. I think there's certainly a place for cricket, but I would not cannot imagine any scenario where the national sport of GEA would play second fiddle to another sport. I've been asked to let you know that there is a diversion in place through Long Lane at the bottom of Windy Hall Road, as the bottom of Windy Hall Road is closed. Traffic is heavy, so you're being advised to expect delays. Right, let us see. It's time for this now.
The Community Garda information slot is brought to you by Sheridan Security Systems, protecting what you value most. Call today and get your zero-wire alarm system from €299. Sheridan Security, 91-26025.
Indeed, we've brought it forward a little bit because, of course, we have our election debates coming up after 10. It is Community Garda information. And we are joined in studio now by Garda Grania Doherty. Good morning, Grania. How are you?
Good morning, Greg.
Good to have you with us. Okay, we've got quite a bit to get through, so we'll start with the appeals, if that's all right. And your colleagues in Buncrana seeking the public's assistance as they investigate a fatal road traffic collision.
Yeah, that's right. So Garda and Buncrana are continuing to appeal for witnesses following a fatal road traffic collision at Buncrana Pier. On the morning of Sunday, the 19th of May, Garda and emergency services were alerted to a vehicle in the water at Buncrana Pier on Sunday morning in and around 7:30 a.m. So following a multi-agency search and recovery operation, the car was recovered from the water. One male, aged in his 80s, was sadly found to be deceased inside this vehicle. A technical examination of the scene at Buncrana Pier and Swilly Road was completed by FSI, Forensic Science Investigators. We're appealing for any witnesses to this incident, firstly, to contact us. Anybody who may have been travelling in the area of Buncrana Pier, Swilly Road and the shorefront between 6:30 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. on Sunday morning are asked to contact Buncrana Garda Station on 932 0540, the Garda Confidential line on 1800 666 111 or any Garda station. And I would just like to say on behalf of myself and all at Garda Síochána, we pass our sincere condolences to that man's family, neighbours, friends.
Indeed. And all of us here at Highland Radio, I'm sure the listeners as well. In the south of the county, your colleagues investigating a road traffic collision in Donegal Town.
Yeah, this collision occurred at Upper Main Street, Donegal Town, on Wednesday the 15th of May. So lunchtime, so in around 1:55 p.m. So hopefully a few people may have been around, may be able to assist with this one. This collision occurred between a car and a pedestrian. So Gardaí have been in touch with all parties involved, so we're not seeking any vehicles or anything in relation to it, but we're just appealing for witnesses really, or dashcam footage. The pedestrian was a child. They were taken to Letterkenny University Hospital to receive treatment for injuries. Their injuries are not life-threatening in nature, thankfully. So again, we're appealing to anybody who may have witnessed this collision or captured it in dashcam footage to contact Gardaí in Ballyshannon on 071 985 8530.
And a road traffic collision being investigated in Burnfoot too, Grania.
Yeah, this was a single vehicle collision. This happened on Friday the 17th of May, shortly before 6:30 p.m. And it happened in the area of Drummadooey, Burnfoot, so on the R239. This car was travelling from Muff towards Burnfoot when this collision occurred. The driver and 3 passengers were taken to hospital. They received treatment for serious but non-life-threatening injuries. We're appealing to anybody who may have travelled on that stretch of road, the R239, at that Drummadooey, to make contact with us if they had a dash cam and were in that area around that time, or if anybody witnessed this collision also, we'd like to hear from them. And again, Buncrana Gardaí can be contacted on 932 0540.
Okay, now an assault in Letterkenny being investigated.
Yeah, this assault happened at Upper Main Street, Letterkenny, in the early hours of Sunday the 19th of May. So between 3:10am and 3:15am. A man was standing chatting to his friends in the street. He was approached by an unknown man who had come running down the street. This man, who was standing chatting to his friends, received a blow to the face. He was knocked to the ground. So we're appealing to anybody who may have witnessed this incident to make contact with us in Letterkenny on 9167 100. Any relevant information can be passed to us in Letterkenny or again to the Garda Confidential line on 1800 666 111.
I mean, these assaults are scary, aren't they, Granny? Because we know all too well, and it's been the subject of, Garda and PSNI campaigns, so-called sort of one-punch attacks that have ended in devastating circumstances, obviously for the victim, but also the perpetrator as well. Their life is ruined.
Of course, yeah. And I think sometimes people aren't, that's not forefront to their mind when these sorts of things are taking place, and one punch can be fatal, and it has been fatal in the past, and also people have received life-altering injuries as a result of one punch assaults also.
Yeah, okay, it's a serious business. Right, now, an investigation into a worrying incident in Lifford.
Yeah, this is a criminal damage incident. This happened at Coolatee, Lifford, in the early hours of Wednesday, May 15th, shortly after midnight. The residents in the house realised their car that was in their driveway was on fire, so the emergency services were alerted. The fire was extinguished. The possibility that this fire may have been started deliberately hasn't been ruled out at this stage, and so we're appealing to residents in that area to make contact with us if they observed any suspicious activity on that date or if they have any relevant information. We would appreciate anybody who can assist in any way with this incident. They can contact us in Letterkenny on 9167 100.
Okay, and a criminal damage incident in Ballybuffet now.
Yeah, this occurred at Blue Cedars, Ballybuffet, on Sunday the 19th of May at about 11:40 p.m. The sitting room window of a house in that area was smashed. So we're particularly interested in any sightings of a lone male in that area on foot or on a bicycle around that time. If anybody can assist with information or footage, we ask them to contact Garda in Letterkenny on 074 9167 100.
Okay, and criminal damage also being investigated in Ballybofey.
Yeah, this criminal damage incident happened in the area of Glenpatrick Park, Ballybofey. So this happened on Monday the 20th of May, shortly after midnight. Significant damage was caused to a car at an address there, and the sitting room window of that property that the car was parked at was also smashed. So we're appealing to anybody who may have observed this activity, other residents in the area in particular, to make contact with Garda in Letterkenny on 9167 100. If anybody travelled in that area of Glenpatrick Park or on the Donegal Road with a dash cam between 11:45pm and 12:15 that night, we also ask them to make contact with us, please.
Okay, and a burglary in Buncrana, which notable time of the day actually that this occurred, Grania. I'm sure that'll come out during the course of the appeal.
Yeah, it's an unusual one, because usually burglaries, we're talking the nighttime hours usually, aren't we, or the hours of darkness, but this burglary happened at the courtyard Buncrana on Sunday the 19th of May between 11:45am and midday. So a resident in one of these apartments were in bed. They heard someone enter the apartment. They heard them rummaging through one of the rooms in the apartment, and this resident thought it was a family member that had returned home to search for something or something that they'd forgotten, they'd called back for, but this wasn't the case, they discovered later. Nothing was stolen from the property and nothing was damaged either. So if anybody observed any suspicious activity in that area on Sunday morning past, we asked them to make contact with Garda on 932-0540 in Buncrana.
Okay, now an attempted burglary in Burnfoot this time.
Yeah, this attempted burglary happened at Green and View, Carnshanna, Burnfoot. It happened in the early hours, just very recently actually, the early hours of this morning, Tuesday the 21st of May, in and around 3:53am. It was actually the Ring doorbell at that property that alerted the residents that someone was on their doorstep or there was motion happening around their home. So upon viewing the footage, they could see a figure on their doorstep. This figure was well covered up. They had a torch, they wore gloves, they were trying the door handle, and they seemed to then search around the area to see had a spare key been left out. No damage again was caused to this property and nothing was stolen as entry wasn't gained to the property. We're appealing to anybody who may have travelled in that area in the early hours of this morning, and it should be fresh in people's minds at this stage of the day. Hopefully we might get somebody to come forward in this one. So if anybody was in that area with a dash cam, we're asking them to make that footage available to us. And again, if anybody has any helpful information that can be passed on, we ask them to call Garda in Buncrana on 932-0540.
Yeah, a couple of things from that, and I'm not giving anything away, but how many people listening to the show have a key under the mat at the door, the flower pot just to the right or left of the front door, maybe there's a stone at the side of the porch or whatever, and the keys underneath it. You know, as I say, I don't think I'm giving any burglars any tips here because we're all the same. And also to the importance there of having the doorbell camera as well. And we've talked about this before. They're not cheap, but they are affordable for a lot of people.
Yeah, and this would actually highlight the importance of having added security at your home. Also, you know, the benefit of having that doorbell camera, that they have this person on footage. We have an exact time that it happened. And as you say, look, I think there are far too many people leaving spare keys out, and it is a done thing. And I suppose if you're used leaving a spare key out for Johnny or Mary or whoever's out for the night and you leave a key out and you've done this for years, your home hasn't been broken into, you become blasé about it then, and you know, you just keep doing it. But we would advise people never leave a spare key out. These people aren't stupid. They know, as you say, they check under the flower pot, under the mat, under a stone on the windowsill. It's all the usual places, you know. So please don't do that. Don't keep spare keys outside.
No, because what this has shown us is this person, at least it appears that way, the investigation is ongoing. That's precisely what they were expecting. And if they'd have found it, instant access to the house and your goodies gone. Right, okay, now finally we have new legislation in place to regulate the use of e-bikes, e-scooters, e-mopeds. It came into effect yesterday.
Yeah, so the Road Traffic and Road Traffic Act 2023 introduced legal categories for light electric vehicles. So that would cover, as you said, e-bikes, e-scooters and e-mopeds. Light electric vehicles are battery-powered, zero-emission vehicles such as e-scooters and e-bikes. So from yesterday, 20th of May, users of any of these types of vehicles, light electric vehicles, they will need to know and follow the regulations for their vehicle category. We often get asked here, not so much about e-bikes, but it's always e-scooters. E-scooters come up a lot, and you know what the rules are.
And we were in this
surrounding
vacuum, weren't we, whereby there was no actual real legislation, but they were So that means they weren't permitted at all, really, in a lot of cases, particularly the e-scooters. So the questions were difficult to answer. You did fantastic, of course, as much as you could. But now we have a set of rules. Yeah,
and as you say, we were kind of in limbo before. We were trying our best to advise people, but I'm delighted now the legislation now is in place. So we will run through. I'm just going to give you a wee quick summary just about e-scooters in particular. So from yesterday, 20th of May, e-scooter users must be 16 years or older, obey a speed limit of 20 kilometres per hour, drive on the left. E-scooters are allowed in cycle or bus lanes and on local, regional and national roads. They must have lights, a bell or audible warning device.
Just a question in relation to that, right? So if I'm heading out the four lanes on, not the four lanes, sorry. If I'm heading out the dual carriageway on my e-scooter, do I go up the hard shoulder or do I just go on the right-hand side of the line?
Well, I would imagine, which I couldn't see anybody having any issue with you being on the hard shoulder,
okay,
with the fast-moving traffic. Right. I wouldn't imagine.
I don't want to be on the road.
It's a wide guess on my part. I'll have to verify that. But,
sorry, I didn't mean to.
But no, in an area I can understand, in an area where the traffic's quite fast moving, and you're fearing you're putting yourself at danger, and that I can't see the issue there. But then I don't make the rules, so I will have to come back to you next week on a definite answer. I'll double check that one.
Right, sorry about that. Straight in with a tricky one. I didn't mean to.
No, you're okay. They must have lights, a bell or audible warning device, reflectors and brakes on their e-scooter, and it must be kept in roadworthy condition at all times.
So I'm not making light of it. So you can't just sort of go, if you were on the scooter, it has to be something other than your own voice.
I suppose something similar really to a bike. It's the same sort of... Well, you can go hee-haw if you want, I suppose. If you can do it loud enough to alert other.
I need more sleep. I'm sorry, Granny. I just need more sleep. Right, okay. No, this is important. I'm sorry.
No, okay.
Right,
so,
now...
Same as any other vehicle, it has to be kept in a roadworthy condition. You're out on the road, it has to be kept in a roadworthy condition.
And you have to obey the direction of people that are charged with, controlling traffic, Garda, school wardens, for example.
You do, and you have to... follow the same rules of the road that apply to cyclists.
I think really the catch-all for this is a lot of this really is a cut and paste from bikes, isn't it? Push bikes. Really, a lot of it is, isn't it?
It's very similar.
In terms of, because then people say, well, footpaths, it's the same with the rules of bikes. Culpability, it's the same with bikes. Yeah. Traffic lights, whatever you might do in a bike. It's really, I think that's the easiest way for...
It is. It's quite similar, actually, to the rules of the road for cyclists
I think so.
Regular push bikes.
Now, what can't...
That's probably the most important part, The e-scooter users must not use footpaths, pedestrianised areas or motorways, hold or use a mobile phone, have a seat on their e-scooter, and they cannot carry passengers or goods. And they said, look, this is just a quick summary.
Now, school bag, I think we asked the RSA, if you're heading to school and you have your school bag on your back, I don't think that's really classed as carrying goods, but if you're leaving Curry's with a 32-inch flat screen TV,
I would say it's more.
It's a bit common sense, isn't it?
It's about a lot of it's common sense, really.
And you can't use footpaths, pedestrianised areas, again, places where already bicycles aren't. So if it's not designed for the use, you can't use them there. And as you mentioned, obviously, motorways, right? Moving on, quick summary.
Well, look, anybody who has any of these types of vehicles, e-scooters, e-mopeds, e-bikes, any of these, really and truly, the onus is on them to check out the regulations full and to ensure that they're going to be fully compliant with them. And I looked it up yesterday. There's actually a great summary of all the regulations on the RSA page, www.rsa.ie, or the gov.ie page also. They
Have you noticed any increase in their usage yet? Because I think a proportion of maybe parents or guardians were holding back, because they were illegal. But I mean, this is actually really quite a good option for... I saw an e-scooter there the other day. I think it was €320 and it had a 28-kilometre range. Now, you might not achieve that. So, for a bit of commuting, it's going to be really quite useful. We haven't spotted an increase in their usage yet.
Not yet, but I would imagine there possibly will be. I would say maybe people had purchased one. They were unsure, as we all were really, about what the regulations were. And now that they are sure, that they know that they're compliant, they'll take to the roads. So I would say,
I think that it's the regulations are far more generous than I was anticipating, if that makes sense. Yeah. Right, the Donegal Youth Awards took place last night.
Yeah, you nearly know I'm hoarse this morning.
Why?
I consider that a late night now. So the Donegal Youth Awards, Garda Youth Awards 2024 presentation took place at the Abbey Hotel in Donegal Town yesterday evening. The overall winners now will go on to represent Donegal at the National Awards ceremony. So I'm just going to run through the overall winners, and give them a wee congratulations on air this morning again. So the Community Safety Award, that was won by the 5th year Safe Internet Day ambassadors from St Columba's College in Stranraer. The group award winner was Class 3B Sculwarra Buncrana. Individual award winner Carmen Hernandez, Donegal Town. Special Achievement Award winner Sean Boyle from Arranmore Island. And the Special Recognition Award went to Conor Callahan from Deal College, Rafo. So we want to wish all of these overall winners and to all of the nominees, we want to offer them all their sincere congratulations and the best wishes for the future. And they all deserve a clap or a round of applause. They've all achieved great things, whether it be helping within their community or overcoming personal challenges. They're all to be commended. It's fantastic to see the youth getting recognition for all the good they do. I think we're quick to maybe point the finger at the youth times and to judge them, and it's great to see them getting a wee clap on the back and a well done for things that they are doing well, and there's so many of them out there doing well. And just on that note also, I would appeal to people next year when the youth awards when you see the nominations going out next year, please do nominate young people, because there's oceans of young people out there across Donegal that are doing fantastic things that aren't being nominated. The form isn't complicated. It's a matter of submitting a few lines. So
I think really the difference is for those that nominated is they sort of get what you're nominating in terms of the young person's achievements or contributions. And I think maybe that's just the little part, the little connection that people don't say, that young person in your life, yes, you can nominate them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's just that's the only gap, because it's a fantastic thing. And the joy on the young people's faces and their families and guardians' faces was wonderful to behold.
Yeah, they're as proud as punch, and rightly so. And as I say, they're all to be commended. And as there's loads of people actually out there too, young people that are doing they could be full-time carers for an adult at home, a family member, things like that, things that people may not think, will I send it in, will I not? Send it in, no matter. If you see a young person doing good, send in the nomination.
The nominations aren't open at the moment, but
they're not open. When they are opened up, we want to get an ocean of nominations in next year.
Why did you say
Keep
ocean?
us busy.
Why did you say ocean?
Wrong choice of words there now, I'm sorry.
Go on.
So we wish to extend our thanks to Judge Ethan Cunningham, to the Joint Policing Committee, Councillor Jerry McMonigal, for helping to make this year's Donegal Garda Youth Awards a success. We also wish to say a sincere word of thanks to our new sponsor who came on board this year's Supermax Ireland. We thank them for their generosity and for their support. Thank you also to John and all at the Abbey Hotel for so generously providing the venue for our ceremony. To Kevin Fury from Ocean FM for assisting with the music. And last but not least, a big thank you to Greg for
Was that any good?
You were very good.
Do you think?
Excellent. I even enjoyed some of your jokes.
So if you were organising an event or something, would you recommend me as a compere or host?
I would highly recommend
From
it.
On Garda Síochána?
Oh, most definitely. I
Judge
speak on the behalf of the whole organisation now.
Can you speak on behalf of Judge Cunningham?
I don't know. You need to maybe to double check that one.
And there was a nice video played by Jim McGuinness and also Donegal goalkeeper Sean Patton, who also is a member of An Garda Síochána. A nice wee touch that the Donegal manager invited the nominees to a training session after the Tyrone game, which I thought was lovely.
Yeah, and of course they were hoping to be there in person themselves last night to bring the cup in and to meet the young people and meet and greet them. But then, of course, look, they have a big game coming up this weekend and they're flat to the mat, so we understand that. But it was a lovely gesture. Yeah, they've invited all nominees, not just the overall winners, but all nominees to the training grounds to meet the team and to meet Jim.
Wonderful.
So we wish, all our overall winners the very best at the National Awards later in the year. And once again, well done to all of the young people, all of them, whether they were overall winners or not. We applaud them all.
Okay, thank you very much. Back with the weather.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
Testing. Do you need to get your hearing tested? Test your hearing with a free sample hearing aid from Hidden Hearing. Order your free sample hearing aid today. Call 1-800-370-000 or visit hiddenhearing.ie.
Northwest Regional College has launched its exciting range of part-time courses starting this September, and enrolments are now open. Whether it's a new skill or a new career direction, there's something on offer for everyone, with hundreds of professional and technical course options to choose from. To find out more, visit nwrc.ac.uk/part-time. Future-proof your career today by enrolling on part-time courses at North West Regional College.
Ensure the safety of your team with SafeTech. We have part-funded courses in first aid, people moving and handling, confined spaces, food hygiene, quad bikes, fire warden, IPAF MUPS, electrofusion, welding and machinery cards for Ireland and UK sites. Also delivering online courses like utilities, water hygiene and construction supervisors. SafeTech can deliver group training at your business premises. To find out more, contact safetech.ie today.
Get ready for the event of the year. It's the brand new 242 event at iMotors Drum Keen. Join us until May 26th as we showcase the latest models from Kia and Nissan. We're serving up treats, gourmet burgers and lots more to make your visit extra special. Now is your chance to explore our new range at iMotors Drum Keen, your trusted Kia and Nissan dealership in the Northwest.
iMotors, fearless generation.
Boost your brain function with Remind supplements this May. Visit Healthwise Pharmacies for the innovative Life Meter test. In just 1 minute, measure your carotenoid levels from a simple fingertip scan. Understanding your diet can help you take charge of your brain health. Remind's blend of carotenoids and omega-3 fatty acids supports normal brain function. Make an appointment today at Ballyrain and Dunlow Healthwise Pharmacies. Take the first step towards a healthier brain with Remind.
Highland Radio weather updates brought to you by McElhinney's. Support a local Donegal business with McElhinney's. From fashion to home essentials, find everything you need for any occasion. Shop McElhinney's Ballybuffet for quality you can trust.
So mainly cloudy, misty and dry this morning with occasional bright spells. Showers will develop by afternoon, turning heavy in places with thunderstorms and hail possible too. Temperatures 15 or 16 degrees. Okay. After 10 o'clock, after the news and obituary notices, we will be hosting our second debate in the local elections. I'll focus Buncrana, so stay tuned for that, and we'll be switching streams. So as soon as the obituary notices are over, this stream will end if you're watching or listening online, and a new one will begin, so make sure to join us there. Apologies, news is going to be slightly late. Chat to you soon.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
New this week in Home Store and More. All bath mats are all half price. That's right, half price. But better hurry, because when all the half price bath mats are gone, they're gone. Also, all swing chairs and all Hotel Collection duvet sets are still all half price. But when all the half price swing chairs and all the half price Hotel Collection duvet sets are gone, they're definitely gone. Drop by your local Home Store and More. Visit us online at homestoreandmore.ie. Home Store and More. A happy home.
Kick off your summer with large screen TVs at Curry's. Save €500 on this 65-inch Samsung OLED TV, now only $1,899. Plus, get an extra 10% off the 75-inch LG Smart 4K TV, only $764 after discount. Save €115. Shop in-store or online at currys.ie.
Right now at Alcorns, all the plants grown with love right here are leaving to bring joy to gardeners everywhere. Alcorns are offering some of the best value around, with perennials like lupin and hollyhock 3 for €20. There's big 5-litre geraniums 2 for €20 and a super selection of bedding at 2020 prices, only at Alcorns.
Everyone has dreams. Dreams are stories and images that our minds create while we sleep. The magic of dreams can enhance our lives, and our lives can enhance our dreams. We all know the importance of a good night's sleep. So if you're going to dream tonight, make sure you get a good night's sleep on a Restex bed. All Restex beds are made using only the finest materials, made by the cream of Irish craftsmen. Restex, Mountaintop Letterkenny. Leave the rest to us.
Still putting up with frustratingly slow broadband? Don't wait any longer. Imagine's high-speed broadband is being installed right now. Sign up today to get our hero package for just $49.99, saving you €180. Visit imagine.ie or free phone 1-800-938-407 to upgrade to faster broadband faster. Subject to location and availability. Minimum 18-month contract. Activation fees and annual price change of CPI plus 3% applies. Offer ends 30th of June. See imagine.ie for full terms and conditions.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app.
This is Highland Radio News.
Good afternoon, approaching 2 minutes past 10. Donald Kavanagh at the Highland Radio News Desk. Garda in Buncrana have renewed their call to anyone with dashcam footage or information related to Sunday morning's fatal traffic incident at Buncrana Pier to come forward. On today's 9 till noon show, Garda Gráinne Doherty made this appeal for information.
Garda and emergency services were alerted to a vehicle in the water at Buncrana Pier on Sunday morning in and around 7:30am. One male, aged in his 80s, was sadly found to be deceased inside this vehicle. We're appealing for any witnesses to this incident, firstly, to contact us. Anybody who may have been travelling in the area of Buncrana Pier, Swilly Road and the shorefront between 6:30am and 7:30am on Sunday morning are asked to contact Buncrana Garda Station on 932 0540, the Garda Confidential line on 1800 666 111 or any Garda station.
Meanwhile, Garda in Donegal town are investigating an incident at Upper Main Street on Wednesday afternoon. Lasted approximately 5 to 2. A collision occurred between a car and a pedestrian. The pedestrian, a child, was taken to Letterkenny University Hospital to receive medical treatment. Their injuries aren't life-threatening in nature. Garda urging anyone who may have witnessed the collision or captured it on dashcam to make contact. The Green Party has confirmed 3 candidates contesting next month's local election in Donegal. The party's chair in the county, Michael White, will run in the Carndonagh local electorate area. Jason Lemesurier is seeking election in the Buncrana area. And in Letterkenny, PhD researcher Nuala Carr has put her name forward. And local election debates are continuing this morning on Highland Radio. The focus today from 10:15 until midday on the 9 till noon show will be the Buncrana local electoral area, that one getting underway in the next 10 minutes or so. Agreement may be close on relocating Brinkbanks in Glanties. Answering questions from Councillor Brian Carr, officials said they're looking at a number of options. Councillor Carr said there is a suitable location right at the council's own yard. He says the current site is on private property and that needs to be resolved.
There's no camera, it's not lit, and people are just going and dropping every bit of rubbish that they want and leaving it there, and it ends up that, the council has to come along and try and clean it up. We've had discussions with the council trying to look at alternative locations down through the years. Hasn't been successful, but there is one location now that we have identified is outside the council yard itself.
The Taoiseach says the government is committed to the delivery of more homes. Simon Harris's comments come as the Housing Commission estimates an underlying housing deficit of up to 256,000 homes in the country. The body is calling for emergency action to address the issue. Simon Harris says the government will continue to make progress right across Ireland.
I'm very proud of the work that is underway in relation to housing. Last year more than 32,000 homes were built. This year so far we've seen over 30,000 homes go to construction, commence construction, and we're only at the start of the month of May. So there are encouraging signs. What we need now is a step change in terms of ambition. We're seeing supply ramping up, we're seeing our workforce increasing. We need to say, what more can we do?
We may soon be able to access our basic medical information on an app. The National Patient app will allow people access basic information such as allergies or blood work when attending appointments. It's part of a wider strategy to share medical records electronically across all GPs and hospitals nationwide. Health Minister Stephen Donnelly says it'll make the health system safer and more efficient.
Let's say you're in chemo treatment, or you've diabetes, or you've hypertension, or whatever it is. And when you go in, or you go to your GP, or you go to a public health nurse, or you go to the hospital, yes, they can pull up your medical history. It's going to save a lot of time. It's going to mean that our healthcare workers have accurate information. They know they're looking at the right information all the time.
No evidence has been found to suggest Dublin City Council reimbursed contractors who paid protection money to criminals. It followed claims made in the High Court about money being paid to stop attacks on building sites across the capital. With more, here's Tara Duggan.
In 2019, the then Minister for Housing ordered a report into whether Dublin City Council had a role in contractor payments to criminals to stop sites being damaged and staff attacked. The companies were building social homes for the local authority and an approved housing body in Ballyfermot. Thousands of euro was paid to gang figures, but the report has found no evidence that DCC reimbursed the companies who paid out the money. The findings that have been shared with councillors have concluded that while senior management at the local authority didn't know about the protection racket, they also didn't take steps to find out what was going on.
Weather forecast mainly cloudy, misty and dry this morning with occasional bright spells. Showers developing by afternoon, turning heavy in places with thunderstorms and hail possible. Top temperatures today 15 or 16 degrees Celsius. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with news again at 11 o'clock. Until then, from the news team, have a very good morning.
The obituary notice is for this Tuesday morning, May the 21st. The death has taken place of James Devine, Drummuckla Rafo. His remains will repose at his home from 4 o'clock this afternoon. Funeral prayers at his home on Thursday morning at 11 o'clock, followed by burial in St Columba's Church Graveyard, Drummuckle. Family time please from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Family flowers only, donations in lieu to ICU North Beaumont Hospital, care of Terence McClintock, Funeral Director. The death has taken place of Sheila McGrath, née Call, Glencar Road, Letterkenny, and formerly of Massanas, Creeslaw, reposing at her late residence today from 2 o'clock to 9 o'clock with rosary at 9 o'clock. Family time please on the morning of the funeral. Funeral Mass in St Junan's Cathedral, Letterkenny, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, which can be viewed live at churchservices.tv. The death has taken place of Shane McLoone, Rossbeg, Portnew. His remains are reposing at his late residence in Rossbeg. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 10:15 to St Connell's Church, Kilclooney for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass with burial afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. Family flowers only please. The death has taken place of Teresa Kenny, Ballyness, Falcara, originally of Drumnatinny, Falcara. Her remains are reposing at her home, house private, before the funeral today. Funeral Mass today at 12 noon in St Finian's Church, Falcara. Interment afterwards in the adjacent cemetery. Family flowers only, donations in lieu to the Donegal Hospice. The Funeral Mass can be viewed live on Kieran Roshi, Funeral Director's Facebook page. The death has taken place of Kieran Hickey of Strand Road, Bunbeg. His remains will repose at Rorty's Funeral Home, Derrybeg, today from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Rosary at 8 o'clock. Funeral Mass will take place tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock in St Mary's Church, Derrybeg. Interment afterwards in Maharagallen Cemetery. The Funeral Mass can be viewed live on Kieran Rorty, Funeral Director's Facebook page. The death has occurred of Martin Sweeney, Avaldy Gort, Crossroads, Killygordon. Remains reposing at his late residence this afternoon from 2 o'clock. Funeral leaving from there on Thursday morning at 10:30 for Requiem Mass in St Patrick's Church, Crossroads, Killygordon at 11 o'clock. Interment afterwards in the adjoining churchyard. The Requiem Mass can be viewed live via the parish webcam. Family time from 10 o'clock until 11 o'clock and on the morning of the funeral. The death has occurred of Robert Harper, 52 Polly Arnon Road, Castlederg, reposing at the family home. Funeral from the family home tomorrow morning at 10:20 for Requiem Mass at 11 o'clock in St Patrick's Church, Castlederg. Interment afterwards in the adjoining churchyard. Family time please from 11 o'clock to 11 o'clock and on the morning of the funeral. Family flowers only please. And the death has occurred of Hannah Doherty, Sean Bryan, née McDade, Torna Bradley, Clonmany. Her remains are reposing at her late residence. Funeral from there tomorrow morning going to St Mary's Church, Clonmany for Requiem Mass at 11 o'clock, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Family time please from 11 o'clock to 11 o'clock and on the morning of the funeral. Family flowers only please, donations in lieu if desired to Nazareth House Fawn, care of any family member or McFeely Funeral Directors. Hannah's Funeral Mass can be viewed on churchservices.tv. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.